Hey everyone, Dr. Kennard here with Tobin Templeman, just talking about what happens when things break. I'll tell you, I have a laughable car. I might be getting rid of my car. I have a 2007 Toyota Corolla. It has like 262,000 miles on it. More rust than car. But I'll tell you, the one fucking thing it does consistently is key goes in ignition, and it rolls over and it just starts. Um, and so, yeah, that car's superpower right there. I don't need the car to be pretty. What I do need is that it starts when I need it to. So, and it's safe, relatively safe. I don't think it's going to rust out on me completely anytime soon.
You
Probably.
know,
I don't know.
I've heard people say a lot of good things about their Toyotas.
Yeah,
They last a really long time.
yeah. What's up, Jesse Bear? I hope the coughing isn't too bad. I hope the coughing's better. I hope the coughing is better than it was before.
Mm,
Yeah.
that is no fun.
No, dude. No. I don't know. I mean, so for my work, most of the time, I'm not involved with people. My day job is basically just doing some courier work. I work. I deliver like DNA. Well, the company I work for is a DNA certain sequencing company. So I do have to go into offices and colleges, but only for short periods of time. Um, so I don't think my chances of getting, you know, the disease, COVID, is incredibly high. But and I don't know, maybe it's me. I don't know if anyone else has decided or have come to peace with this. But at some point, I feel that it's only a matter of time before I get it, before I get COVID in some way or get seriously exposed to it. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I've already had a very mild dose because there's asymptomatic COVID cases, and maybe I've already had it. I don't know. But there's part of me that's just come to peace with the fact that at some point I'm going to come down with it just from being out in the world. And I'm not out in the world a lot, but I don't know if anyone else has come to that conclusion.
Yep, it is likely. It, and your chances of getting a COVID where something that has always kind of been there. COVID is just the respiratory, right? We're talking about respiratories, the
Mm-hmm.
lungs, infections in the lungs. I mean, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
just hoping.
still would try not. I would like to not get it. That would be awesome if
Yeah, that's
it
on
is
my Christmas
possible.
list. That's on my Santa list right there. Not getting COVID. That would probably be in my top 10. That would probably be my top 10, all top 10 on the Santa list. Not getting COVID. But that's just putting it on my Santa list is just as effective as praying to Jesus about it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if I've been hound. I haven't hounded my boy to get his COVID. I remind to get his booster shot, but I reminded him twice. And the last time he replied on text, "I told you I was going to get it done." It's like, okay, all right. So now I think that the next thing I'm going to have to do in terms of dad strategies, right, is I'm going to have to bribe him with food to do, just to have a casual conversation. At some point, I'll have to be like, so have you gotten your booster shot yet? Because he only took the shitty J&J Johnson. He took that shitty. I mean, it's good for people who've taken it, but as we all know, it does not offer as many protections as the other varieties of vaccine.
I got it because that's what was offered to me.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I could be like, no, I'd rather have, this or that. And I
Yeah.
didn't really understand the difference between the two. or the 3. I mean, really.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I know when I got my booster, I would have liked to have gotten Moderna, but it wasn't
I'm
available.
sorry. There's like a big truck coming down this way,
Dude, I
and it's
didn't hear
probably
that.
gonna start banging the back of it. It So please excuse me if that.
Sure,
I
dude.
don't know if that might.
You have major work going on in Chateau Templeman?
Well, we have gravel roads, and
Oh,
time goes, they have to come out and basically rake it, and
yeah.
it just happens to be the day that they take a dump truck and they dump it and then rake it up. I don't know.
Now, now is that a private road or is that a road from the town or the municipality?
This is municipality.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
This
So
is
at least you
something
don't
that
have to pay
gets.
for it. Wow, dude, they are for real.
All right, it looks like he's done.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about bribing my kid with some food, having him, trick him to come over or to go somewhere, and then ask him if he's gotten his booster shot. And the thing is, yeah, talking about you getting the J&J, I mean, you take the shot that's offered to you, right? I mean, like I said, I got the Pfizer booster. It would have been nice to have gotten a Moderna, um, but you take what you can.
I don't know. I might. I think I might definitely ask if I can have one of the other ones. Um, but yeah, that was a weird experience. I went into this little pharmacy over here, and whenever I asked for my shot, uh, they told me to hang on. They would get a person to ask me some questions, and she
Mm-hmm.
came out and she was dick nosing it
Oh yeah, dude.
totally.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, you're a pharmacist. You're, I mean, you're obviously already wearing the mask. Like it it boggles my mind even more whenever I see people who, you know, are doctors, and should have, or not doctors, but you have some kind of training in the
oh yeah.
medical field, and then yet you still uh believe in some crazy woo, or do things that are like uh
Stupid.
yeah.
You're just too stupid, dude. I'll tell you, this is a true story. As many of you know, I was working in home health care about what 5 months ago, and there was an incident. There was an incident that I can't really get in depth with, but we had to call 911. The gentleman had to call. We had to call 911 because there was basically a medical emergency, um, and so there were at least two paramedics that came in and a third person who came in. I think was associated with paramedics. None of them had fucking masks on, and my guy was unvaccinated at that point, right? So the thing is like the medical staff are in this guy's house to help him, and yet being exposed to them could have gotten him killed because he was unvaccinated and he had an impaired immune system. And it's like, what the fuck? You fucking fucks, right? You just fucking useless pieces of shit. And not only that, you're making things worse. It's worse than being useless. You're making things worse. You're just making things fucking worse.
Right. Yeah, I would like to think that people who are paramedics and whatnot, would be much more conscious about those kind of things. My
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah. You would think so, but no, no. That's why I'm all for mandates. I like mandates.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, talking about Greece, the stories that we covered, all those Greek priests, Orthodox priests dying who are anti-vaxxers. And the story we did yesterday was about how Greece is fining people 100 euros a month if they don't get vaccinated. So either by the carrot or by the whip, right? It's
You
especially
know,
for, you know,
and America has had pandemics before, and we have had other times that they did do a mandate like that, and it, for some reason it was more accepted. Like people just John.
John
What's up,
Hudson.
Tobin? How are you guys?
We got heavy Texas this morning, everyone. We got heavy Texas here in the house of Kennard. That'd be good if you could join us, D. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't have anything really constructive to say either, to tell you the truth. It's all just funny faces and occasional cursing. That's all I really offer. So how's Texas? How's John Hudson doing? John Hudson.
John Hudson's doing good.
Good.
Yep. Grandson's feeling better. It was just the cold, but just want to be sure,
Yeah, well, that's safe, dude. That's smart.
With the baby, the baby just turned a month yesterday, so it is smart, and we have the facilities to do it here, so
right,
because I had kind of a scratch in my throat, and I thought I was coming down with something, but I feel great today.
Good.
And so, but for the last 24, 48 hours, the boy had him away from the others.
I was gonna say, I wasn't gonna lie to you and say that you look good, but I'll say that you look up to normal. You look like baseline. I think that's the official clinical term for it.
It's early. I'm only on my second cup.
Oh yeah.
I found them I like them Folgers like tea bag things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's always a fresh cup.
Nice.
And as you can see, I double them because I like goat herder coffee, And if I really want to make a goat herder, I can just rip them open and get the grounds and everything in there.
Sweet. Before I moved in with my girlfriend, at my old place, I just had a traditional coffee maker. There'd be a pot of coffee. You put the coffee in, you make a pot of coffee. And but when I moved in with her, she has the single dose Keurig machines.
The Keurigs.
And so what I use, and I'm not here to shame her because she's not here, right? She uses the disposable pods, but me being a big hippie liberal, I do use my reusable coffee. It's a little plastic, with a little cover. It's pain in the ass because it makes a mess when you have to clean it because you got to finger it. You have to clean it out after every single time you use it to get the grounds out. Right, exactly. But yeah, that's what I do. And it's cheaper that way too because I'm cheap. Because I'm poor.
Yeah, I go anywhere and it's just I'm a black coffee guy,
Oh yeah.
And I'll go in places and they're like, "You want sugar or cream?" No. What? I like coffee.
Especially during the pandemic. It's like I just want to get the fuck in here and out of here. Just give me my fucking coffee. That's all I want. Even before the fucking pandemic, I was saying there should be a fast lane for those of us who just want black coffee. They just want that's it. You just go up, fast lane it, grab it, pay, go. That would be if I had a magic wand, I'd cure cancer, right, and do all the other stuff, but I'd also have a fast lane.
Right on.
You're such a humanitarian.
Yeah, for me, I'm a humanitarian.
You guys all ready for your Christmas?
Yeah, I gotta buy shit, man. I gotta do things. My girlfriend's already set up, and I asked her what she wanted for Christmas, and she goes, "You haven't seen my Amazon wish list?" And I'm like, No. But yeah, I gotta get my act together with that.
I tell you what, we actually put our first Christmas tree up
Oh,
for
cool.
it's been many years. It's been some years since we've had a space to really put a tree. And we got some lights, and the lights they have now are pretty damn cool because they're battery powered, but it actually has a remote, and you can do different settings and stuff like that. But it's much cooler than it was like whenever I was a kid, and you had like one bulb that goes out, and you gotta like trace it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they suck.
Oh, I should say, hey, just as a reminder, not to buy your Christmas trees from the Boy Scouts of America. They are prejudiced against atheists and agnostics. It says it right in their bylaws that you cannot be a moral person if you're an atheist or an agnostic.
Yeah,
They are and
they
they
have
have,
been for a long time too. When I was a kid, I was told I couldn't go if I wouldn't go to church. I couldn't be in the Scouts,
yes,
and I'm like fuck it, you know.
yeah,
And
fuck
then
them.
what's funny is I'm up fishing a couple years ago. And I'm knocking the shit out of the fish, you know. There's a Boy Scout leader over there with his little guys, you know. They ain't catching shit. One of them comes over and he's like, Can you show me what you're doing?" You know. So I
Right,
rigged him
right.
up. He cast out, and eventually all them little guys come over. I set them all up, you know.
Nice,
But
dude.
that goddamn scout leader never did come over to find out, you know,
Yeah.
how to teach kids how to catch fish, you know. And it was a simple rig. I mean, and I know why they made him scout leader. I saw the size of his fucking Suburban, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Those were his only credentials, obviously.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. From an early age, I've told my kids. Well, I haven't lied to my kids. I haven't lied to my kids about the Catholic Church, and I haven't lied to my kids about the Boy Scouts of America. Um, so from day one, as early as they can remember, they know exactly what the Scouts and what the church is all about. Um,
Well, it's the
and,
Mormons in Utah, you know, that
and Mormons, and they're the ones who fucked up the Boy Scouts. I mean, the Boy Scouts of America were always problematic, but it's because the Mormons had a lot of control over the Boy Scouts of America, and they made every single den, every single local group of the Boy Scouts has to be associated with a church. They have to be. So that's different from the Girl Scouts, two totally separate organizations. But a Boy Scout den has to be associated with a church.
so you hear anything on the payout that they had to pay? I thought the cocksuckers went bankrupt.
Maybe they did, John, because I know that you're right. Because if anyone's watching this and you haven't, if you're not up, or if you don't know the background of this story, the perversion files, because the Boy Scouts of America had all these documents of sexual abuse and suspected, files, basically a la Catholic Church kind of stuff about people in their organization who were abusing kids, and they had to pay out a lot of money. And yeah, and I knew the organization was in trouble. I'm not.
Well, their only requisite was, you have to be religious and you have to have a big van. You know,
Right.
didn't care if it said free fucking candy on the side or anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. Indeed. Jesse says my kids wanted to do Girl Boy Scouts. I looked into it. Went to one Girl Scout meeting, and yep, not for us. Too much religious stuff. Oh really? Huh? Yeah, yeah. In the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts are worse. Yeah, yeah. And there are secular scouting organizations out there, but of course they're smaller. They may not be in your area. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the Boy Scouts had some fucking awesome camps too for the kids
Oh,
to
yeah.
go to and shit. But then you find out what goes on in them, and it's like, fucked up.
So here it is. This is from NewJersey.com. 2 New Jersey Boy Scout Council selling camps to pay for sexual abuse settlements. So yeah. that's just so the Boy Scouts of America are still there, and they're still paying, Mr. King Farouk says, I saw a report that recently, huge amount in Boy Scouts. Yeah, sexual abuse. Yeah. And, just like the church, they just wanted to keep it quiet.
And they have. They've pretty much have kept it really quiet,
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm going to say about the fucking Mormons is they keep better secrets than the Catholics, because the ship. My mother was raped in the church, actually, when she was a youngster, and think it was an uncle of mine, actually, or
Right.
her uncle, and just that uncle was really weird to me. He was always like trying to buy me stuff and things. Never did find out who it was, but Mom did tell us that she went through years of therapy with that, and had a breakthrough with it and such. And she told us it was a family member.
Yeah.
And I just always thought it was Donald, just because the way he was with me, he would, trying to make up for his fucked up. And then the other thing too is I had cousins that he owned a restaurant that cousins worked for, and he was always hitting on the girls and stuff. So I kind of like connected two and two together, and his son of a bitch, he's burning.
If the nature of the business, restaurants, right? I mean, if you're a bad actor, if you're a bad person and you're running the restaurant, then that's like your little fiefdom right there, and you can get away with a lot of bad behavior, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got a bunch of little teenage girls working for you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and Donald was so fucking good to me. Bought me a fucking dirt bike. Bought me my Suzuki RM. Took the fucking camper up the canyon. Me and my cousin Arthur lived in that camper for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he done some really great shit. But then, as I become an adult and start hearing stuff, it's like, yeah, he's a son of a bitch, And he was always encouraging me and Arthur to, like, to go after other gals, Oh, look at that one. She's so cute. Oh, you need to go get that, Fucking okay. Yeah.
What's up, Ian Davenport? I'll take a look at that badge. Jesse Dale. On Instagram, the Girl Scout Faith badge. What vexes me the most is when I talk to atheists that don't have any spine. And let me back up a little bit. I understand that once you become an atheist, if you're once a theist, it takes time to pull out the wires, right? It takes time to take out the machinery of faith in the back of your head, right? But I have to tell you, I've had more than one internet conversation on Facebook, on Twitter, or on the blog about how you shouldn't be buying Christmas trees from the Boy Scouts. And it's like, trying to convince someone that their baby is ugly for a lot of atheists. It's like, look, you're giving money to an organization that tells you suck ass.
You never tell anybody their baby's ugly. You can say it's breathtaking.
Breathtaking. That's right. So, and then they start giving you, and these are atheists, right? So-called skeptics, and they'll start talking like Catholics. They'll start saying, well, my priest is good, or in this case, it'd be my dad is good. My local Boy Scout organization is good. And so why shouldn't I support them? It's like, dude, you're part of a criminal fucking enterprise. That's why. You're part of a fucking criminal enterprise, and any money, any support that you give to them supports that criminal enterprise.
Well, that's always the defense with them people too, is, oh, we're not like that here. You know what I mean?
Right. Our clan is good here. We're not part of the bad clan. We're part of the good clan. Someone's going to take a snippet out of that and take it out of context.
And there was some good, but too, it just seems like Donald was a fucking great guy to me, but how horrible was he to other people? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Grant, this is interesting. Grant, I did scouts in Awana, I don't have no idea what Awana is, Grand Farmer, for a little while as a kid. Is that a group like the Scouts? I imagine Awana is similar to the Scouts, but even more explicitly religious. Oh wow, that's tough. I have a buddy, local guy, part of Boston Atheists, who was an Eagle Scout, and I've told this story before, and this is something that he shared publicly. And the Scouts want nothing to do with him in terms of mentoring or being part of the organization now that he's out of the closet atheist and he's an advocate for secular issues. They want nothing to fucking do with this guy, and he's brilliant, he's really talented, he's motivated, and they're like, no, we don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, they're multi-level marketing.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and as a parent, I'm sure that all of us have had issues with so-called either they're scout leaders or they're teachers and they don't do their fucking job about keeping the kids under control, so to speak, right? Or dealing with bullies or intervening when they need to be, when intervention needs to happen. Did I ever tell you this, dudes? Have I ever told you the story about my boy? I might have told it about how he got into a fight in second grade and I got the phone call. My boy's not physically violent. He is a someone who is calm. He's on the spectrum. He's relaxed. He doesn't want to really mess with anybody. But I got this call. This is when I was married, of course. I got this call at maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, Mr. Hall, you're going to have to come down here. Your son, got into a fight. And it's like, oh, really? Well, tell me what happened. And she said, well, there was this, and this was and I swear, this is the kid's name is Christian. The other kid's name was Christian. And this kid had been giving my kid a ton of trouble, in the past. So they were at gym. There was a substitute gym teacher, right? And I guess the substitute gym teacher was just playing with himself somewhere in the corner, had his thumbs up his ass, wasn't paying attention to what the kids were doing. And the kids had all these kickballs, right? Had all these balls that they were supposed to be playing with and doing kids, second grade kid stuff with. So this kid, Christian, had all the fucking balls. He had them like he was a little capitalist. He had all the balls and he wouldn't share them with anyone. And my boy's like, I just want one. And then Christian's like, so so shit happened and physical stuff happened. And then I'm going, okay, all right. And then the secretary tells me, well, your boy put his fingers down Christian's throat. And at that point, I just started laughing hysterically. It's like, that is probably the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. And then I realized that it was completely inappropriate for me to be laughing at the fact that my second grade son was so infuriated with this guy that he was putting his fingers down this kid's throat. The kid didn't get hurt. The kid didn't learn a lesson either.
Choke on that, motherfucker.
So I went down there and said, you can't you can't put your fingers down at the kids' throats. Yeah, so that was the one fight my kid got into when he was at all in school.
Yeah, I punched a gym coach.
I don't find that hard to believe, John Hudson.
Picked me up by my fucking hair and I turned around and fucking broke his nose.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Good,
yeah.
Good
I was butt ass naked, got flipped with the towel, told the fucking kid he does it again, I'm going to kill him. He went to flip me with the towel. I grabbed the fucking towel, brought him in, fucking knocked him fucking to the ground, proceeded beating his head on the concrete bench.
Wow. I don't advocate this smacking on the concrete. I think I think that a lot of us have had to put down, especially guys of a certain age, right? It was more acceptable for us to be violent. I mean, this is wrong. You know, you talk to kids today in schools, and they're like, yeah, that does not happen. You know, this kind of stuff does not happen. But I was in the this was after gym class. This is when I was in high school, and this kid had been fucking running his fucking mouth off. You know, all through gym. His name was Phil, and Phil had a pair of glasses on, and we had just come out of the showers because back then everyone took showers after gym class.
Yes, you had to. It was part of gym. You didn't get your grade without it.
So I you couldn't get your grade. So I took my towel, I did the traditional wrapping, and then I clocked him. I just whipped it, and it just happened to be, for those of you who are Dungeons and Dragons aficionados, it was a natural 20. So it basically got him wrapped around his face just at the very end. And when I yanked on it, it ripped his glasses off. They didn't break, but it did send a significant message. It sent a specific message of maybe you shouldn't be running your fucking mouth.
Well, I did that in 7th grade, and I didn't get into another fight with anybody till I got in high school.
Yeah.
And then fucking big ape motherfucker, Farrell, fucking walking down the hall, slap the books out of everybody's hands. Does it to me.
I fucking hate that. Yeah.
I fucking go and pick up my books, and I just fuck this shit. Went up, jumped on his back, and fucking rabbit punched him about 5 times in the head before he flipped me over and pummeled my ass.
Wow.
But next week we both got kicked out of school. We're coming down the hall the next week, and there he is, fucking knocking books out of everybody's hands, you know. Gets next to me, puts his hand up in the air, and I jump up and high five him. Never fucked with me again. Nobody fucked with me in high school after that.
Yeah. I'll tell you my last funny story. It seems like funny mean story, right? So there was this place in Brockton. It's called Tower Hill. It's in the park. As the name suggests, there was a tower on the hill, right? A little, like 3-story tower. But it's a big hill, and everyone would go sledding on that hill. So this is when I was like 16 years old. Me and my buddies go up, and I was bullied, quite a bit off and on, in spurts. So I had the big shield sled, the big plastics, circular, that looks like one of those Greek warrior shields, like the Hoplon shield.
A disc.
Yeah, big disc, a big fucking disc. Good. They had a good amount of heft to it too. So I see my fucking bully coming down the mountain, coming down the hill. And I had my shit. You can see where this is going. Then I had my sled. And I'm going, and I had my fucking moment. So what I did was that I swung it with my hips. And once again, got really lucky. Got really fucking lucky. And the guy slammed right into my shield, right into the plastic shield. It was like from a movie. He went spinning down the hill one way, and his sled went spinning downhill the other way. And I do not advocate that kind of shenanigans, but it was really funny.
I do advocate that kind of shenanigans. Good on you, Andy.
Yeah. It was, and of course he was the son of a probation officer too, unsurprisingly, right?
It's funny how the sheriff's fucking kid and the bishop's kid, and people, they'll be on town council, how their kids are always the fucking bullies.
Oh yeah. I would like to see a peer review study on that, because I feel like that's true, at least from a lot of anecdotal, a lot of stories. But it seems like if you're a dude, and if you're in the hierarchy and you're in a rigidly hierarchical job, where you get to exert your power over people, yeah, there's a good chance that you are possibly not the nicest person in the world. And apples don't fall far from the tree most of the time.
Well, they did that one study where they took just normal people, made half of them criminals and half of them like the police over them, and the change in them people, just because of their simulated power. It wasn't like a real power. You know, these people weren't incarcerated. These people weren't law officials. Yeah. But it just showed how they turned into fucking total dicks with their power. You know what I mean?
It's the Philip Zimbardo. I think he was over at Stanford, and it's the Stanford prison study. And yeah,
it was ugly.
Yeah,
Jesse Bear, you should pop in.
I've
I don't want to
seen
shit
footage
anyone.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse Bear, if you want to pop in, that would be great. Talk about vaccine policies and your experience with COVID. Yeah, definitely, that would be cool. There's if you haven't seen the Milgram obedience study, that's also a classic example. It was done I think, in the early 50s, the Milgram obedience study. And if you don't know about it, it's basically, and this is before there were like rigid ethical guidelines about what you can do on a psychological study. So this is what they did. They had an actor who dressed up in a white coat, and he was the scientist. And they told subjects that they were doing learning experiment, right? And they had someone in the next room over that could not be seen. And they said, and the scientist told the subject, look, you're going to test this person's memory. You're going to give them a list of words. And if they don't get the list of words correctly, you will give them a shock. You'll give them an electrical shock. And this study is to see on whether or not punishment affects performance on memory tasks. And as I recall it, the knob for the electrical, for the charge, went into like danger, really dangerous. Oh my God, kind of, it was clear that it was dangerous. And I wish I was making this up, but this is real. Milgram obedience study. So, and of course there was no electrical charge. There was no electrical charge. It was all fake, right? They just wanted to see whether or not an average everyday American citizen, how far they would go, right? And mind you, they could hear the dude screaming. They could hear the guy saying, "Stop it! I'm in pain. I want to." And so when the subject looked to the scientist and said, "I think I should stop," the scientist said, "The study must continue. The study must continue." And a lot of people didn't fucking.
We need more data.
Because after the war, people wanted to know, how did an entire country turn into basically Nazi Germany, right? There was a lot of studies about that. And this Milgram guy, once again, there's videos on it on YouTube, and the Milgram obedience study. It's worth taking a look at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
The study must continue. Yeah.
I can't stand to see anybody in pain,
Yeah.
I see an accident on the road or something like that, and everybody's fucking eyeballing it. It's like, I just can't. I saw a guy cut in half once, so
Well,
if you're traumatic.
Dude, it had to have been. If you're in the trades, I imagine you're going to see something at some point, right? Something's going to happen to you because construction's a dangerous job.
I fucking saw a guy fall off onto some rebar.
Oh yeah, dude.
And they had to fucking take a cutting torch and fucking cut it off him. You can't pull a person off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just it's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
There was when I was doing a job over at Micron, they had these big industrial fans, and the guy fucking walked behind the one and was sucked into it. I didn't see that.
Wow.
It was in another part of the building, but they shut us all down for OSHA came in and shut everybody down because of it was fucked up. But I had friends that had witnessed it and actually left the trades immediately afterwards.
Well, I could definitely see that. There are reasons. You see enough, you've done enough. It's like
I think I'm gonna go find something.
Maybe there's an easier way.
Well, that's one of the reasons when I was given the opportunity to step away from it all and take an early retirement. I got all my digits and
Oh yeah.
You know.
And there's
Hey, here comes my little guy. I'm out.
take care, John. Good seeing
All
you.
right. Bye bye.
Later,
Yep.
John.
See you guys.
Take care. Good seeing you. Yeah, Jesse Bear. I just did a quick Google search. It was I'm just going to read the Little Albert experiment was a controlled experiment showing empirical evidence of classical conditioning. Yeah, basically, yeah, bad stuff. Bad stuff. I vaguely remember hearing about that when I was an undergraduate. Crazy stuff. So tell me, you got anything big coming up for yourself? New music dropping? Anything?
Yes. I was at the beginning of this week. I was kind of nervous that I might possibly not be able to have it done by Friday, but uh, I I think I'll be able to put something out this Friday. I've actually already been listening to it, and I don't know. I like it. I don't know, but definitely I will be
Cool.
sharing something Friday.
Good, good, good. Jesse Bear says there is video footage of the experiment, one of the first filmed. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, well, thankfully there are, ethical guidelines now. Unlike, like those studies that we were talking about, there are ethical guidelines that, if you're running a psychological experiment, especially if you're in the university, then you have to follow certain guidelines. You have to get your study, basically through a guidance committee, from what I understand, because a lot of these psych studies are just done with undergraduates, right? College kids now, and because they're just right there. So yeah, yeah.
That first one y'all were talking about with the prison study, that
Yep.
one was pretty interesting. I have some recall of seeing that. I think I've heard about that study a couple of times. But yeah, none of the prison guards had any kind of background or anything like that. They just picked a bunch of people to go into those to be guards, and they would get pretty intense in like treating the prisoners.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, yeah, definitely. And I think there was actually I think there was a documentary and a movie about and it's called the Stanford Experiment, that I did not see, but I remember it being out, released. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, maybe, which I should take a look at actually. But yeah, it was one of those studies that there was a lot of film. There's a lot of film on it, and yeah, yeah, it had to be shut down early. The experiment had to be shut down within a couple of days because things were getting out of hand pretty quickly. Yeah, and I'll agree with King Farouk on this. The one thing that you'll see about psychology experiments is that they're not always rigidly scientific. Their design, experimental design, is not always on point, especially the early ones, right? And then, of
Yeah, you
course,
have to be able to control all the variables, right?
right. So there were students at Stanford, but out of the group, out of the pool, they did randomize who were going to be prisoners and who were going to be guards, as I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, King Farouk does say that study has been questioned in the academic world. Yeah, there are a bunch of issues with the prison study. Yeah.
Yeah, it is disturbing like that. I have recently gone to jail a couple of years ago. I got a drug charge, marijuana. I had a little bit of weed.
Yeah.
But I had to, go through the whole business. And the kid who like you got to get undressed, all right? And they put you they give you some robe, not a robe, but an overalls. They give you overalls to put on, and this kid is in the room with me and taking my stuff, and but I actually know of him in town. Like
Mhm.
we're somewhat acquainted, and I was asking him if he liked his job, and that he was like, yeah. And the thing I like about it is whenever somebody talks bad at me or whatever, I get to hit him. And I was looking at him strange. I was like, and I think he noticed. He was like, oh, okay, this dude doesn't think what I'm saying is cool. I don't know. I'm not looking for a reason to hit anybody. I don't know. It's just strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the reason this kid liked being. He was not an officer, but he was a person who helped inside the jail, and this was the reason why he gave to enjoying his job, was because he got the moment to be able to punch somebody every once in a while.
Hmm. 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 Probably not the person you want working in the prison.
No,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Not the
I
person.
would even say like an older teenager, even early 20s, maybe there should be some more experienced people like doing these kind of jobs. I don't know. I don't know.
I've heard that in Massachusetts, there's a movement to expunge the records of people who've been arrested for marijuana possession. I heard about it the other day on the radio. I don't know how far it's gotten, but for states that have decriminalized marijuana, then there's no good reason why not. Well, one, there's no good reason for drug laws to begin with. But if your state legalizes or decriminalizes marijuana, then it seems to be logical that they should expunge the criminal records of people with simple possession charges, right? Because
The
that's
way I understand it, is that that is one of the first steps when a state is doing that, is they expunge all, whenever they are going to legalize it or whatnot, they expunge the records.
right, right, right. That's good. That's good. Jesse Bear asks, jail or prison? Prison is much worse for the most part.
Oh yeah, I've just been to jail, like
Okay.
been in holding tanks.
Holding. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny, my girlfriend and I, we were talking about Jeopardy. We watch Jeopardy together typically. And we both know someone who has been on Jeopardy. Hemet, who's been on this channel a couple of times. I think he was a 2-day winner on Jeopardy, and she knows someone she went to college with who was on Jeopardy. And we were just talking afterwards, and then I came to the realization, it's like, hey, Clockwork Rex is here. What's up, Clockwork Rex? What's up?
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Doing
Morning.
okay. But I just want to I just want to finish this. Is that I came to the realization that the likelihood that you know someone personally who's been on Jeopardy is negatively correlated to whether or not you know someone who's been to prison. So in other words, if you know someone who's been to Jeopardy, there's a good chance you don't know anyone who's been to prison. Now, I happen to know someone who's been to prison. Actually, I know a couple of people who've been who've served time, and but I think that I don't know if I think that's a scientific thing I could prove if I really wanted to. So how you doing, Clockwork? Another Texan here. Heavy on Texas.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not in
Rex was
Texas,
from Tennessee.
man.
You're not in Texas. I always thought you were in Texas.
Virginia.
Virginia.
I
Right
live
on.
in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia. You
Ah.
might want to write that down.
I will tattoo it on my hippocampus. That's what I'll do. Clockwork Rex.
No, I'm using the damn crappy tablet. I'm gonna go get me a new computer later.
Oh, that's good. You should be able to get like deals around this time of year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
So what you been up
Walmart's
to? What you been up to?
Walmart's got a good deal,
Good, excellent.
like $300 for a new
Yeah.
computer.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah. Oh, I ain't been doing no whole lot of anything.
I see you streaming at times that I'm just about to get offline.
Oh, really?
I see it's like, oh, there's Clockwork Briggs. He's doing a stream right now, and I'm about to do something else.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stream at random times. It's no kind of set schedule. I'm not all professional like you there.
Well, I gotta tell you, and this is what in terms of the average, this is stuff that I talk to with content creators, either offline or on this channel, or is like coming up with a schedule. If you're going to, you know, want to do, it's like I was talking with Jimmy Lou about it just the other day, about just coming up with a schedule that doesn't drive you crazy.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, man. You make a good faith effort in creating content, but it can be a tough. It can be. This is not Boohoo Andy, by the way, but it can be a tough lift. It can be a hard lift.
Oh, sure. That's why I've always do live streams.
Yeah.
So, just whenever and whoever shows up, and
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I did one yesterday, and this one lady came on, and we talked about horror movies,
No,
we
nice.
talked about music, and we talked about food, and we ended up, somebody else came on, and she told me a lot about how to take care of my dying dog.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
So, what's your favorite horror movie? Clockwork Rex.
My favorite horror movie?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm partial to the first and second Hellraiser movies.
Oh man, Hellraiser. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I remember when they came out. That was Clive Barker, right? That's Clive Barker's stuff.
That's Clive Barker.
Yeah.
And I really like the we talked about this the other day, the remake of The Thing.
Yeah.
With Kurt Russell in it. Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, good stuff.
I really liked the book, The Theft of Always, was a Clive Barker book that I really enjoyed.
The Theft of Always?
Yeah, I think that was the name of it.
Huh.
But it was a pretty good book.
I read The Great and Secret Show, and that I had to read twice because I didn't get it the first time. And then I had to read it again, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I was reading through a Philip K. Dick book I have kicking around here, and it's like, maybe I should just check out the Wikipedia page and just, because there's a lot of time and first person, the stories that have these first person narrations that you can't trust the first person who is doing the narration. It can be like, so what's really real here? What's real? What is
actually going on?
Yeah, what's actually going on? Yeah.
Oh, another Clive Barker book that I read. Have you ever seen the movie Nightbreed?
Oh yeah, dude, I saw that.
Okay, read Cabal. That's the book it's based on. It's totally different than the movie.
Okay.
It's a good book. My sister turned me on to that book.
Nice.
I might have told y'all that before.
You might have.
I don't.
You know what I have to do? I've been reading a lot of you won't find this, anyone's going to find this surprising, is I've been reading a lot of news articles and analysis and stuff like that. But in terms of reading a book, I think the last one I read was Dr. Josh's book on the Atheist Guide to the Old Testament, Volume 1. And I'm like, I have one of his other books kicking around on slavery, and so I think I'm going to make a commitment to And this is my problem, right? I was just talking about starting, keeping to a schedule of content creation, and the secret project is going to be taking some of my time, and I have to learn certain skills to actually do it properly. So I'm just talking about, I should be doing this other stuff when I can barely keep up with the crap I'm doing now. So.
Oh, Megan and Dr. Josh, they're good people. I love them.
Yeah.
I love
Funny,
talking to them. Yeah.
funny and smart,
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
How's your-
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Clockwork? I feel like it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while. How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was pretty good. It was
Good.
pretty good. I had a non-traditional Thanksgiving. I made beef ribs and mashed potatoes and green beans and corn and what else did we have? Oh, biscuits uh, and gravy, white gravy,
Mm-hmm.
something else. I can't remember right now. But yeah, it was good.
I'll tell you, a biscuit. I mean, you had me at ribs. Even the vegetarian in me goes, yeah, those ribs are pretty good. But a fine biscuit is a wonderful thing,
Oh yeah, biscuit with white gravy over it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
delicious.
There is my girlfriend's from Texas originally. She grew up in Texas, grew up in Houston, and grew up on the biscuits and gravy and stuff like that. And there's actually a vegetarian restaurant right on Mass Ave in Cambridge that we go to, and they do respectable biscuits and gravy, vegetarian stuff. They're tasty.
I need to find me some chicken livers. I've been craving chicken livers, and when I go get my new computer, I'm gonna look around and ask every fucking uh, Walmart employee I see, where are the fucking chicken livers at?
I remember when this is years ago when I was for Christmas around this time of year, I would make chicken pate, and that is just basically blenderized chicken livers,
Yeah,
with some good stuff in it too. With some came out. If you like pate, it was good pate.
yeah, yeah. You put a little black pepper and a little bit of salt, and whatever other kind of herbs and spices you want in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Liquor. There's a fair amount of liquor in my chicken pate.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
I will say this, and I want to say is that those the pecan pie burritos I made, they were delicious. I made some pecan pie filling, put them in a burrito, and then I pan fried it. And oh man, I cannot tell you how good they were. Almost as good enough for me to quit my job and start a burrito truck business. Basically empty out all the money I have and just invest it in a crazy truck and just do deep fried burritos full of like pie fillings of like pecan pie, all that crazy stuff.
Oh, my grandmother, she used to make the best pecan pies. Oh my God. I probably said it before, I was looking for a recipe book and she apparently just had it all in her head. So
Sure.
she didn't write none of it down. And I was like, God damn it.
Empanadas, yeah.
So I'm gonna start closing things down. I'm gonna get ready for work. And
Go do your job. Go do your job, Andy.
I got to do the job that pays me money.
Exactly. Money's always good.
It is. It's better than not having money. I'll say that.
Exactly.
All right.
Makes shit easier. Greases the wheels or whatnot. Yeah.
Well, money isn't going to buy you happiness, but it is a insurance policy against being miserable.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I mean, you look at all the people in Hollywood that have all this money and are not happy at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can say it for anywhere. There's no. Yeah, just because you got a lot of money in the bank doesn't mean that you're happy or you have meaning in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. On that happy note, Shamala, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Shamala.
Same crazy thing. Take care.